Hello everyone and welcome back to Gran Turismo 7. Today we'll be racing in the World Touring Car 600. And once again, like a few of the recent episodes, this is not a menu book, it's just a set of races we haven't done yet. And strangely enough, despite the fact it is the World Touring Car 600, the first race that we're going to do is a rallycross race at Catalonia. So we have to go through and choose a car. We're going to go with a rally car. I haven't actually got dirt tyres for many different cars, so yeah, we don't actually have too many choices. And a lot of the opponents we're going to be racing against are actually just regular road cars. So yeah, we may have a bit of an unfair advantage in this one, but to be honest, I need it because rally is never been a strong part of my driving skills. But anyway, we will get into it. We're already underway and have gained a number of places through the first couple of corners as we're trying to make our way around the outside. Not going to get through there though, and for now we will go for the move down the inside into the next right-hander. We still can't get the move done though. We're sitting up in third place already, so we've made quick progress as we make a few bits of contact there, but up into second place nonetheless as we make that move. Now we've only got the race leader in front of us, and we'll see if we can sneak our way down the inside, and we are going to take this car to its natural habitat off the road and get the move done. So now we're in the lead. All we need to do is hold it. It's easier said than done though, because this track is rather tricky and it's so easy to just make little mistakes like that, because every corner comes up so quickly after the previous. There's not really any straights, to be honest, nothing reasonable. So yeah, it's just bang bang bang, corner after corner, and over the little rise there. And yeah, it's a fun little track when you do get used to it. This is probably the closest thing we have to a straight, and it's a very brief flat out section with a slight left hand kink, and I'm still losing control even on the road surface. But anyway, we'll now see if we can hold on to this lead for the rest of the race. We just need to minimize mistakes, and that should be enough to hold on. So we now move on to the end of the race, and yeah, it was pretty smooth from there. Nothing really to report. So we come across the line to take a race victory here at Catalonia for the first World Touring Car 600 event, and I'm pretty sure the only one that is off-road. So good to get that one ticked off early, and now we can get into the style of racing I am much more confident with on the road. So let's get into that. Alrighty, we get underway for the next race then. This one is at Tokyo Expressway South Clockwise, I believe it was called. I can't remember. Anyway, we completely make an absolute mess of the first corner. Just didn't even see that coming. But anyway, I'm not familiar with all the layouts of Tokyo Expressway. But anyway, but we'll push on and see if we can still claim a victory here as we go for the move here. We're just going to give him a little nudge into the braking zone because I felt like we were coming in a bit hot, and you can see we still run a little bit deep, but we'll just about keep things under control. A bit of a bump with the wall there as we're continuing to bump side by side. We'll make the move stick as we get a lot of understeer on the left-hander there as well. So yeah, this car, the R35 GTR, nice and quick in a straight line, but it does certainly struggle in the corners. So it's sort of the opposite of the older GTRs, the R32 and R33. Very nice through the corners and not as quick on the straights. So yeah, there's two very different handling dynamics there. But anyway, we'll continue pushing on through the race. We'll sneak down the inside and we'll get another overtake in. Now we couldn't quite fit to the outside there and misjudged that one a little bit. Up into 9th place nonetheless though, so still making progress. That is hard to say for some reason. We hit the brakes way too early there, lost probably a few seconds doing that, so keep that one in mind as we round the right-hander. and onto the next straight. We'll make up that time very quickly against the cars around us at least and retake the position, but yeah, we need to now go ahead and close the gap to the group ahead using the wall on the left there to give us a helping hand, and the same with the wall on the right there. It's yeah, I can sort of already tell this race is going to be a tricky one, so yeah, I'm having to find some alternative ways of making up some time using the speed running strategies, and it has helped us gain a little bit on the next car, so we'll see if we can go for an overtake somewhat soon. A good straight line speed should bring us into contention not too far into the future. We'll use the wall there as well, and there's an overtake as we round the first corner, and now up towards the next set of right-handers. You can't cheese these ones though, so we'll have to at least do these ones properly. Great straight line speed along here, and we're continuing to gain places all the way along the straight as we now hit the brakes, and we have to carefully manage this right-hander again. We run just slightly deep, probably not as bad as the previous time. We tried to get back to the apex, but we have a car on the inside. We will eventually get around though, and or just grazing the inside wall there, so that's not quite ideal, but anyway, we still get a nice run on the exit, and now we'll see if we can make the move around the outside. We hit the wall there anyway, not that we were fully intending to that time, but either way we get around and move ourselves up into P5. Moving on a little further then, we now have P4 in sight. We'll go for the move around the outside, and we'll absolutely cheese that one. Ouch. We'll soon catch up to the third place runner, and we'll go for the big lunge down the inside. Trying to be late on the brakes in this car is not easy, but we do get down the inside, get it stopped, and we make the move stick as we go very wide there. I don't know, I think I just forgot that the track went back to the right here, but anyway, we managed to get through nonetheless, and that is an overtake done. Up onto the podium now. On to the start of lap at number 4. We've got second place right in front of us, and we will go sending it into the first corner, and hopefully we can get around the outside on the exit, and we trade looking at the back of second to looking at the back of first, and you can see the straight line speed we have versus the Porsche, and despite the fact we actually gave them a push for a moment, we still have way more straight line speed, so that I guess is just the difference in engine power, and we get the job done. Oh my goodness, we've hit the brakes way too early there again. It's so difficult to judge in this car with such long braking zones, and we'll have to manage that better throughout the rest of this race. We're still having a scrap for the race lead, but we will eventually get that done. So we now move on to the end of the race then, and the rest was pretty easy. We didn't even need to cheese any corners, and we'll take race victory, and there we go. First try every time. Okay, maybe that wasn't first try, that probably took me about 3/4 of an hour, but nonetheless, it's a job done, and yeah, then we can get that rather tricky one out of the way now. So we still have one race at Tokyo Expressway. There's 2 at this circuit for some reason, a different version of the circuit albeit, but let's get into that. So as you can see by the track map in the top right, this is a different version of the Tokyo Expressway circuit, and as you can see by the top left, it is 12 laps. So this is quite a long one, but also a very tricky one, because you'll see as we exit the tunnel, the track is wet, and it will dry out throughout the race, but yeah, it was yeah, it's going to be difficult, this one, but anyway, I was going a full send into this first corner and then found out we have wall collision penalties, which is just about the worst thing you can have at this circuit. So yeah, that's going to make this one very difficult, not just because you can't cheese the corners, but because even if I was driving properly, there's no way I can stay off the walls for 12 laps. And just to add insult to injury, we also have mechanical damage. So when you hit the wall, you'll probably bend your steering, and then that'll cause you to hit the wall again later on. So yeah, it's a never-ending cycle. So I decided to leave that one for now. We'll move on to something else, such as racing at Spa. Unfortunately, I missed recording the start of this race because I'm an intelligent person, and we are now almost halfway around the first lap. We'll make the move up into 14th position, and yeah, you only missed one overtake, so not much happened in the first few corners. But regardless, 14th position now. We've got 13th just right in front of us as we head into Puon, so we'll see if we can send it around the outside. Don't quite have the grip there, and we'll have to wait till Puon Part 2 to get the move done around the outside on the RE Amamiya, and that moves us up another position. 13th place now ours. Let's go chase down P12. Moving on, we're in car now as we're chasing down 12th place. We'll see if we can make the move around the outside of Blanchimon, and we'll just about get through there. A bit of a loss of the rear end on the exit, but we managed to save it and make that move stick now into the bus stop. And oh, we've gone way too deep, and we'll have to recover this one back onto the circuit. But we keep the position. We're still in 12th place, so no major time loss there. But yeah, we do need to get our focus back and continue pushing on. You'll notice we've switched to the old Skyline, the R32. Probably, I don't know if I'd say the nicest handling. It'd be very close between the R32 and the R33, between which one I actually prefer. I've driven the R30, well, I've driven both a lot. I drove the R33 in the Bathurst 6-hour video. This one I've driven a lot more in terms of the actual sort of races in the game. But they're both very good cars. So yeah, we're driving the R32 at the moment, and yeah, we crashed and bashed our way through there and made our way up into 11th place as we go very deep into Lake Com, and we're going to just cut across here. We won't gain any places, we'll give those back. Got the R35 in front of us as we have a little look to the inside. Can we make the move? We're thinking about it, going to send it, and we'll get the job done. Now we're still trying to creep down the inside, trying to get through, and that's the other overtake done, up into 9th position now. So steadily making our way through the field. We've got another 2 cars in front of us, so we'll see if we can make another move down the inside of Puon, maybe. Thinking about it, going for the move, bit of contact, and we just about get a stop before we make too much contact with the next car there, but we will get away with it just about and move ourselves up another 2 spots and into 7th. Moving on again then, and as we head through Blanchimon, getting a little bit wide on the exit as we drop off the back of the curve, losing the rear end and fishtailing all the way down towards the bus stop, but we will save it. Big lunge down the inside of the Aston Martin, and we get the job done nicely there, and we move ourselves up into 6th position now. We continue to push along through the race then as we get a little bit wide on the exit of No Name Corner. Now we'll switch to the inside and we'll see if we can make the move into Puon. We'll get the job done, and now we're heading a little bit deep. We'll try and save it without going too wide there, and we'll keep things relatively tidy. And that is us now up into 5th position. We got 4th and 3rd not far up the road, so we will stay on board. We'll probably get the move done relatively soon as we head along now towards Stabilo. Let's see what we can do as they're fighting a little bit, holding each other up somewhat. Let's see if we can take advantage of that. We'll go and have a look. We'll take a later apex. I don't know if that's necessarily going to help us, but we do have good speed on the exit regardless, and we'll get to around the outside of the Porsche potentially as we'll eventually get through there. And my goodness, that car sounds beastly. That is an awesome sound. But anyway, the Subaru I'm referring to, not the Porsche. But anyway, we'll make the move on both of them regardless, and that moves us up into 3rd position and onto the podium. It doesn't take long for us to catch up to P2, and we'll get the move done nice and easy along the Camel Straight. That just leaves the race leader, and with less than half a lap to go, we don't have a lot of time to get this move done. We'll go over the move down the inside into Stavolo, and we'll be quite forceful there to get the move done. Bit of contact on the exit, almost spins us out to the left, but thankfully we managed to save it. They didn't keep pushing and make a bigger incident of it, so we get away with that one. And less than a sector to go. We're in the race lead. We just need to make sure we cover them off as we head through Blanchimont for the final time. Let's not make a mess of this. The car can be quite skatey through here. We're just going to go around the back of the curb there to make sure we don't have any issues with it. And now into the bus stop for the final time. We'll keep things under control, get it stopped nicely. And yeah, this car is just, it's so good into that section. You can get so late on the brakes. But anyway, we've done that for the final time and cross the line now to take a race victory here in Belgium. And that was a fun one. And it's a job done here. And more credits in the bank. We're up to 1.2 million now once those go in. Next up, we head to the Nürburgring, the GP layout, and not to the Nordschleife, thank goodness. So, yeah, we shouldn't have too much trouble with this one, hopefully. Never mind, we've already made an absolute mess of the first corner, going way too deep there, but anyway, we'll hopefully be able to recover from that. We've already caught the back of the train, so no harm done there, and we'll see if we can make some moves now. A bit of contact very early on in this one, but we'll squeeze down the inside. That right-hander is always so much sharper. In fact, those first few corners up until that point are always so much sharper than I think. I guess when I drive this circuit, it's actually probably most often on a 24-hour layout, so a lot of the corners in that first section aren't actually there, or they're very different. Continuing to push on through the race. We're up into 14th position. We've got 13th right in front of us, so we'll see if we can make the move to the inside of this right-hander. We'll get the job done and move ourselves up into 13th. And we have the very shiny P12 in front of us as we head through this. A flat-out kink to the right. Let's see what we can do here as we get through and make our way up into P12 along the straight. We then move on to the exit of the final corner. We've got another one of those epic sounding Subarus in front of us, or it could be the same one, I have no idea, but regardless, we make the move along the main straight and we put ourselves up into 11th place. It's not long before we catch a whole gaggle of cars, 3 in fact, and we've already passed one of them as we exit the first complex of corners, and now we tip it into the end of the vacuum cleaner. This is another track I refer to by the shape of it, you know, as a thing it looks like. So yeah, the Nürburgring looks like a vacuum cleaner. Yeah, you know, you sort of see it, right? The top half of the circuit's like the body of it, and then like down to the bottom, you got like the sucky part. You know what I mean. Anyway, we are making overtakes while I'm talking about vacuum cleaners, and that's moved ourselves up into P8 now. So making good progress in this one as we head back along towards the top half of the circuit. Bit of a moment there. Let's not run wide, thank you. And we'll now focus our attentions on chasing down the top 7. Moving on to the main straight again, start of lap number 3. We have another couple of cars in front of us, so we'll see if we can make the move down the inside into turn 1. Late on the brakes. Oh, we've gone too late though. We give the next car a bit of a bump, and we'll take the position and move ourselves up into P6. Soon after, we catch up to a nice little side-by-side battle here for 4th position. The Audi getting an absolutely rubbish exit there, and we both get the move done. And now we'll see if we can make the move on the Lambo. Can we get to the inside anywhere? They're actually quite quick in a straight line, as you would expect from a Lamborghini. And we actually lose a significant amount of time, but we make it all up in the corners, and we'll just slide through on the inside there, almost like it is nothing. They may get us back along this next run if we don't get through there very well, but thankfully we kept things clean. But yeah, that Lambo is very quick in a straight line. But yeah, there's a few, I guess, decent straights around this circuit, but probably the cornering is the major thing you want to aim for, which is what gives us the advantage here. We're losing straight line speed to all the other cars, to be fair, but you can just see with how good we can, or how late we can brake, and how good we are through the corners. It makes up all that lost time along the straights fairly easily, and even just in the braking zones alone, we gain a lot of that time back, despite losing it in straight line speed. Okay, that's the other problem with having really good brakes, is I'll brake to the point where I think I can make the corner, and everyone else will be braking early, and I'll just run into the back of people because they're not braking as hard, and they have to put the brakes on earlier. So yeah, that's a little bit of a trouble point as well. But regardless, we've made our way up into second position now. The race leader is nowhere in sight, so let's go and chase them down. And it wouldn't be a race at the Nürburgring in Gran Turismo if I didn't do this at some point. Let's go surfing over the inside. Woohoo! We actually didn't jump that high then. We slammed the brakes on so we don't actually make the overtake on the for so many years I used to call that car the Re-Emamia. It's R-E-M-M-I-A, I guess. But anyway, regardless, yeah, in Gran Turismo 6 one time, I took that shortcut and launched my car about 20 meters in the air. It was ridiculous, but that was actually very well contained that time. The car didn't do anything too crazy, but anyway, we're having a little duel with the race leader. We'll see if we can make a move around the outside of the left-hander here, and we should be able to get the move done. We do so, and that is a job done. Up into first place. Now all we need to do is hold on to the end. So we move on then to the final sector, getting through the chicane nicely, and we will now head towards the final corner. I do really like this layout of the Nürburgring. I think that especially the second half of the lap is really good, but regardless, we now head towards the finish line, and we'll take a race victory here at the Nürburgring for the final World Touring Car 600 race. But not the final of this video, because there is that one we need to go back to, the one at the other layout of Tokyo Expressway. So yeah, I think it's time we return to that one and try to get it done. So yeah, let's get to it. So the next thing we did was try the race in a go-kart. That was terrible. We then tried the Mercedes 300 SEL. That also wasn't very good. Eventually though, we did find a car capable of winning. It's the Aston Martin DB11 that we finally settled on. It's got a ton of horsepower. I forget the exact figure. But what we also found out, as you can see, is wall collisions no longer give penalties, which makes this race considerably easier, not only because we don't get penalties for just bumping the wall a bit, but also we can use the walls like we were in the earlier Tokyo Expressway race to gain a bit of extra time, because let's be honest, I really need it. This race is insanely hard, and I'm even doing this on the lowest possible difficulty setting, and it is still just unbelievably difficult. But after that race frustrated me for a little while, I decided to take a break and do some photography around a few different circuits. We're starting with Mount Panorama, and we found Skippy and his mates, along with, of course, the Mount Panorama sign, that big obvious thing to see there, the Bathurst Goldfields Education and Function Centre. We found the Motorsport Museum down at the last corner, and if you look in the window you can actually see one of the cars in the museum, George Fury's Nissan Bluebird, the fastest car around the old pre-chase layout of the circuit. An ad for pedigree, proud to call Bathurst home. We also have some Dodge Rams in the camping more parking area, and interestingly, these are not drivable cars. There are no Dodge Rams to drive in Gran Turismo 7, but they're here as cars. So Yeah, that's interesting because they were in Gran Turismo 6. I wonder if it's actually the same like model they've used. Anyway, we just found a helicopter, some guy's house, a rocket taking off into space. That's actually a Daytona, not a Bathurst. But yep, that's Elon Musk sending his Tesla into orbit. We found a Trial Mountain, a chimpanzee, and that's been an Easter egg for quite a while, though he has moved. There's a bear now. Actually, there's two bears. But there's one of them. And of course, the classic Easter egg of Gran Turismo, the Loch Ness Monster, just chilling out in Trial Mountain. And I started playing around with different camera settings for this one, just to make him a little bit easier to see, because it's a bit hazy off in the distance. We also found some flowers and a pine cone. Yeah, I like small details. I just thought that was worth putting in, you know, just in case you wanted to see a pine cone in Gran Turismo. That's yeah, I don't even know. Anyway, that's 2 minutes wasted, so let's get into the next race. Alrighty, we get racing once again then, and we'll give this one another crack in the Aston Martin as we get into the slipstream and make our way towards the first corner. Probably one of the longest runs to any first corner of any circuit in the game, because we're still going and going and going, and we will eventually get to the first corner, but not for a little while yet. We're screaming past everyone along the straight thanks to the horsepower of this car, and we don't need to worry about getting around the corners because we can just use the barriers, and that moves us up into second position as we try to make our way around the outside. We still can't quite take the lead. Somehow this music is just perfect for what we're doing, by the way. We are going into this race and knowing that we have absolutely no chance of taking victory unless we use the barriers to help us out. And yeah, it's a bit of a circus. But anyway, we're doing our best. But this race has been sitting in the too hard basket for a long time. It has, so yeah, we need to get this done. Believe it or not, I do actually have a list of races called the Too Hard Basket, where yeah, anything that is you know, I can't do with the cars I have at the moment, or races that I just can't win because they're too hard, they go in the Too Hard Basket. Right now, the main thing in there is the super license, the final super license test. I really want to get that done one day. I am trying, as we do take the lead there, and yeah. But it's really hard. I've been trying. But back to this race. We have now got the lead by the end of the first lap, so that is good. We just need to make sure we hold on to it, and just to keep an eye on the fuel, because when we go bouncing off all the walls like that, we can actually run out of fuel because we're spending more time accelerating and less time braking. It is very likely that we will run out of fuel at some point during this race, either just before our first pit stop or just before the end. So we need to turn the engine mode down every once in a while just to save a little bit, or just lift and coast into the corners, or just take a few corners normally, just to save that little bit of extra fuel that might help us out. Continuing on then, we're heading towards the end of lap number 4. And we are actually under a lot of pressure from behind at the moment. We go just a little bit deep and wide, and that is a position lost. So it is that easy just to lose even a small amount of time, and straight away we lose the race lead yet again. Don't hit the wall, that was very clumsy. I don't know what I was doing there. Obviously not watching where I was going. But regardless, we've lost the race lead. We need to push hard to get it back. We continue on then to the end of lap 6, and we are yet to regain the lead. We head into the pit lane, and we're going to keep our current tyres on the car to make the pit stop a bit shorter. They're barely worn at all. The tyres around this, the tyre wear around this circuit and in this event is not very high, so we don't need to worry about that too much, though we do need to worry about our fuel. It was basically empty, and I did save a chunk in that stint, so yeah, we do need to be wary of that. It is going to be very easy to run out at the end of the race if we don't pay close attention to it. So yeah, we lost a bit of time in the pit lane still. I think with that longer stop, we'll see how things shake out. But at the moment, we have, I believe, lost a fair amount of ground. And we currently sit in 10th position. We'll see if we can gain a spot here as we look to the left. And we'll gain one position along the straight. We should be able to get another one into the corner if there's room for us, which there is, and we make the move around the outside. We've got another one right in front of us, so we do have a cluster of cars all around us. Not sure if that second wall is worth taking there, but anyway, we are steadily gaining on the car in front. We'll see what we can do through this next left-hander. We can't use the outside wall there. The corner's not really sharp enough, and we have to go under that little bridge, which upsets the car if you're going along against the wall. So yeah, we can't use that one, but it's not really useful anyway. I've been refining this art for a while now in this race, doing it over and over, slowly getting better and getting basically a technique for getting around each corner as quick as possible. And basically just don't do what I did there and hit the wall halfway around the corner. You want to get really close to the wall on entry, so you can just glide around the whole thing. That was a little bit better. Still not perfect, but you get the idea. We need to just glide around each one nicely. Don't just hit it halfway around going full send into the corner, because that's going to damage the car. If we can just glide around each corner nicely, that is not only faster but also will not damage the car. I like how I'm literally talking about the refined art of cheating, literally, but regardless, it's the only way I can keep up in this race. I can't use a car that's any faster. This car's not quite 600 pp, but that is the maximum allowed, and it's almost there. So you know, the few seconds per lap that I'm missing are not there. So I don't know. I don't know what car I'm meant to be using for this, but all the ones I've tried just aren't there basically on the pace, which probably means it's the driver that's not quite up to standard. But regardless, we continue to push on, and we've taken third position now that I think everyone basically would have taken their final stops. So everything else we have to do on the track. We go around the outside, take second position. We'll see if we can take the race lead as we head around the outside, and we will remain in second place for the time being, but we'll keep pushing on and we'll see what we can do. We eventually move on then to the start of lap number 9, and we'll make the move around the outside, and that is job done, nice and easy. We'll keep pushing on now, and hopefully we can hold on. We move on then to the end of lap 10, and you can see the guy in the NSX still absolutely keeping us honest, and will not let us drive away into the distance. So with 2 laps to go, we still cannot afford a single mistake in this race. He is right behind us and looking angry, so thank goodness we have straight line speed, because that's really what's helping us to stay ahead and make rear overtakes if he does get past us. We've gone into the pit lane, and that will just about hand the race win to us. I don't know why he's pitting at this point of the race. Maybe that thing's got worse fuel economy than this car, that or it's far better, one or the other. But whatever the case is, we have a nice buffer over the next car now, and so long as we don't make any mistakes, this should not be a terribly difficult race. I was actually trying to take the corner properly that time, seeing as we had the time on our hands, but that still didn't quite go to plan. But anyway, we move on then to the end of the race, and it is going to be a race victory here at Tokyo Expressway. At long last, we finally get this race done, and we can finally take it out of the too hard basket and say it's finished. But my goodness, that was difficult. But yes, that is that. How much money do we get from that race? I actually am not 100% sure. I didn't check the prize pool. 550,000. Far out. All right. Well, that is significance. Anyway, that is going to do it for this one, so I'll say thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I really appreciate it. Feel free to give me some feedback in the comments, and as always, very helpful. Other than that, I will see you next time. Goodbye.